Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to your second match for StarLadder Season 4. This is the winner's bracket. This is our second match of the day. In the first match, I am about to spoil it, so cover your ears for a few seconds otherwise, but we saw Na'Vi really crush their way through Fnatic. They are lurking in the winner's bracket finals, guaranteed a top 3 finish at this 4-team LAN finals for whoever from this series is able to move forward. Virtus.pro versus Empire, a rematch of the finals for the Asus Open. A series where, if you watched, Empire really had their way with Virtus.pro, but it's a new day, and hopefully it'll be a more competitive series this time around. Of course, this is a best out of 3. I'm your host, LD, joined here today by none other than Blitz, and we are casting StarLadder Season 4. How you doing, Blitz?
Pretty good. Really excited to see Empire versus Virtus.pro. Really good, interesting ban so far. It seems like they're banning more for the team rather than banning like more standard heroes like you'd see.
So, what you're trying to say is they're banning for Funnick.
Well, for the most part, yeah. As Clinks obviously is pretty well known, but Team Empire is doing the same thing by banning out Airman Snakes, and obviously in the Undying being just a god tier hero in general.
Yeah, of course, and I mean the Nakes Virtus.pro is one of the teams that really favors it, but instead of seeing, sort of those heroes that these players are specifically good at, we're going to see all the heroes that are just generally really good in this version. Now, I saw Magnus, I think he lost 2 games today when Fnatic played him, and, you know, the hero, in the first game, I felt like the Mag played well. The second game, we did see some of the weaknesses of Mag after the nerf. Still a really strong hero, but he doesn't have that get-out-of-jail-free card no matter what. At the earlier level, Skewer has that limited range, so he can be picked off, and I mean, Empire, they've got the heroes to chase him down and punish him early on. Virtus.pro, great gankers, great mid-game team fight, but a little bit weak here in the laning stage, I feel.
Yeah, the only thing that really switched about Mag is you can't really put him in the off lane anymore.
Yeah.
Because the Skewer range isn't long enough, but they have a bounty hunter, so they already have like the premier off laner. And Mag makes a good mid regardless, so he's going to have some trouble, I think, against Bad Rider, though, if Scandalous decides to go in mid with it. I don't know if it was worth it to ban Wisp to give up a Bat Rider.
Yeah, Bat Rider and a Darkseer, which we'll see how they lane it, but they have their options. I mean, with the Darkseer picked, it looks like probably, like you said, a solo mid-Bat and then an off-lane Darkseer, and maybe even looking for that 1v1 matchup with Bounty Hunter. So we may see some mind games with the lanes, but Virtus.pro going to go towards a hero that... This is something Empire actually banned in the Asus Open, I believe, versus Virtus.pro. They banned the OD, and not in the first stage, in the second round of bans, but VP are going to get their hands on it early. And I mean, this is an interesting hero. I really like this against Bat Rider. If he tries to jump in on someone, you can always just Astral Imprison them to help keep them safe. Also does pretty well in lane against, well, everyone. OD's super annoying to lane against, but yeah, something unorthodox from VP.
Yeah, I'm liking these picks in general. You're seeing more heroes like Bounty Hunter and Mag, Bat Rider, Darkseer, just because the bans are more oriented around the players than the current metagame. So, and the OD pick is actually really entertaining to watch because it's so boom or bust. The hero puts out so much damage, but that's never been the issue. It's been the survivability, and also the fact that if you don't have a huge lockdown teamfight stun, then he kind of gets focused on pretty quickly. But they do have Magnus for that, so it shouldn't be as big of a concern for Virtus.pro.
And the one issue with OD, if the game goes late enough, he's really weak against BKBs. Just all of his damage pretty much comes from things that are blocked by BKB. The orb, the main one, and then of course the ult as well. The damage does get blocked by it. So it's a really strong hero. And I mean, with Mag to some extent, I suppose that's mitigated. It's not like all their eggs are in the OD basket, but a really fat BKB carry can pose problems for him. Of course, they have Mag as well as Track to help deal with it. So I think the pick suits their lineup as well in that sense, because I forget who played it. Maybe it was Team Liquid who ran the OD a week or so ago, and you know they just didn't win the game quickly enough, and then it got to a point where the enemy team had multiple BKB carries. There's nothing the OD could really do. But this time around, I don't think it'll be as much of an issue because of the supporting cast.
Yeah, Magnus is actually known for being kind of a BKB counter. They did fix the skewer going through BKB, but the ult does lock down for long enough, so hopefully I think that's what VP was kind of going for, the synergy there. And yeah, the game was Team Liquid where they picked up OD, but like you said, BKB does a really good job against him in general.
Apparently you're muted in Dota TV. I do apologize. We're actually tried something new with the audio here, and I guess maybe it's not working. Can I mute Blitz, please? I thought someone was saying that you're muted, but maybe they're just trolling in the chat. I guess let's go ahead and maybe have you. We'll give it like another minute. If people still complain, we'll have you turn your mic on. In game, Dota TV, always a fun thing to work with. So apologies for that, guys. We had some issues earlier trying to avoid them this time around with a new approach, but the new approach may have issues of its own, such is life. But what are we looking at with our second stage of bans? Empire, all about these. Well, it really counters the Batrider, especially the Disruptor and the Shadow Demon. Just blink in, gets glimpsed back. Of course, you can always disrupt the hero he jumps in on, or the Batrider himself. So I really like sort of removing those direct counters to Batrider and team fights from Empire. And over on the side of VP, actually banning that Gyrocopter and a Naga.
Yeah, Naga was picked up recently for Empire. It's a hero that they really like Scandal to play. It's just good team fight in general. Synergizes well with all of Empire's heroes. Empire just kind of banned out all the tier 1 support heroes, which is what obviously Virtus Pro has their lanes pretty much set up. Like all those 3 heroes are going to go one lane. So, and then they banned out the Gyrocopter, which doesn't surprise me too much considering just a great teamfight hero, puts out lots of damage from a distance, which is really good against a hero like OD.
Apparently the stream was trolling us, or trolling me specifically, so you should be able to go, don't touch anything, don't break it.
Okay.
But yeah, you mentioned the Gyrocopter, and he's a hero that's seen some play. I don't think they would run him with this draft. Well, I guess they could. I mean, if you combine it with Darkseer, you vacuum. I was getting the teams mixed up. Yeah, if you vacuum the enemy team together, and then you're unloading with the mass damage flat cannon, that can really hurt. So it makes sense just because it's got that team fight synergy as far as carries go. What are we looking at the rest of the way? Empire, they still don't have their carry, and I'm not sure who Funnick's going to be playing. I guess maybe we'll see him on this. We could see a Darkseer mid and Funnick on the Batrider. I'm not. What do you think?
I still think they need some sort of carry potential. They have a lot of fight, but they need some sort of burst or somebody to just put out a lot of physical damage right now. Otherwise, just if Virtus Pro decides to get a bunch of BKBs, then the team fight is theirs. So it's kind of important that they have some sort of physical DPS to kind of put VP on their toes at least. I would have actually really liked to see the Gyro pick, just because Flat Cannon right now does so much in team fights. And the call down is almost instant, so and the distance in which it casts is really good as well.
Well, apparently you are muted in game, so multiple levels of trolling. All right, for this game, Blitz, I guess try turning your microphone on, since apparently virtual audio cable is not cooperating. Just go ahead and enable open mic and mute co-broadcasters so you don't hear me. And hopefully that'll fix it. Sorry, guys, we were trying something new, but apparently it's not working properly. Ran some tests. It seemed okay, but, well, let us know if that fixes it. Of course, there's 2 minutes delay on Dota TV, so remember that before you let us know that it's not working. But anyway, back to the draft where Empire, still no real damage dealer. We got to see a carry of some kind. There is a Sven, but there's plenty of ways to deal with him, I feel. Well,
yeah, Luna exists as well, if that is something that they want to do. I know a lot of teams right now are just running Luna and then 5-manning because of her ult is so good early game, and it kind of makes it untouchable for her, for them to get into a team fight, and once she picks up a BKB, and there we have it.
She's really strong, and that's the one thing that VP doesn't have a ton of is anti-push right now. They have the Mag, they have the Lina, who's decent, but not really an amazing team at slowing down those pushes, especially because when you look at this VP lineup, are they really going to be able to shut down Darkseer in lane? It doesn't look like it. They've got a Bounty Hunter. If they get the 1v1 matchup, Darkseer's going to farm, which means an early mech. And I mean, the Luna's one piece of that push, but the other piece is getting the early pushing items, like the quick mech, and Darkseer should be able to farm that based on the way VP's drafted so far.
Yep, and VP actually is going to need to take up another support. I'd like to see something that can spam back waves or something from a decent distance. They do need a secondary support here, and they don't really have a way to 5-on-5 engage Empire. Like, in the mid-game, they should be okay. Once Bounty hits 6, once Mag hits 6. But pre-level 6s and before OD gets at least one major item off, they don't really have anything. And yeah, they're going to pick up the Earthshaker here. I should have tried to call it, but it's just a good teamfight hero in general. It makes things a lot easier for OD. So if OD ever gets initiated on, then hopefully Earthshaker will back it up. And then Magnus can kind of come in from a distance. I think that's the kind of combination we'll try to see here, but...
Yeah, it's interesting, and it does make you... I guess it's going to be a solo mid-mag, an off-lane bounty hunter, and then an OD tri-lane. We may see... I mean, this is a tri-lane that can kill Darkseer if he's soloing the suicide lane. Obviously, Empire loves their aggressive tri-lanes, so we'll have to see who's actually up there. Funnick is playing the Darkseer. I think we may see Funnick head bottom, and then an aggressive tri-lane from Empire, which would be, well, pretty scary. Whatever combo of these heroes they run. Scandal on the Batrider. So let's introduce the players now. He'll be going solo mid, rushing that bottle, of course. Looks like Silent playing that Rubik headed to the safe lane. We have Blow Your Brain on the Luna, so maybe just abandon the top lane. That's the other thing we might see. Goblak on the Nerubian Assassin. Looks like he's saving a little bit of gold, potentially for an early smoke or sentries. And then Funnick on the Darkseer, but not really making any move towards top. May just see him get level 2, do some mid-pulling, and then head up there.
Yeah, that's actually what's going on right now. Scandal's kind of just fireflied over all of the trees. So he's going to just kind of make things easier for Funnick. Funnick knows that he can't do anything up there. So the concept is he might as well just get some levels while he can early, and hopefully the lane pushes out a little and he can go up there, so he's not just completely useless the entire game.
It looks like Empire was worried about a level 1 Roche. They actually went to check that. I don't know if VP could have really done it, but hey, better safe than sorry, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to be in the area anyways, because they're going to try to defend their pull.
Right.
So there was no harm in them for just going down there.
If VP could level 1 Roche with this lineup, though, I think they deserve to win just based off of that.
Yeah, I don't know where the damage would come from at all.
Yeah, and nobody can really take it either, but that's neither here nor there. Over on the side of VP, we've got Airman playing the Outworld Destroyer, Santa on the offlane Bounty Hunter, NS on the Lina, KSI on the Earthshaker, and last but not least, CRZ on the Mag, and it looks like actually OD going mid, Mag getting the safe lane farm, so... You know, really hoping to just shut down that Darkseer if he's there, but he's not going to be.
Yeah, and I think Mag would do absolutely nothing against Batrider, and so anticipating this, they put in the OD. So every time the Batrider Scandal tries to go in, he can just Astral and kind of run away. And that's really just relying on him not getting stacked a bunch, but Scandal got Firefly level 1 as we saw, so it's not going to be really an issue for Airman in the beginning, because he just does more base damage. It's 49 right now to 63. In terms of the damage.
And it only gets worse. One of the things that's changed with OD over... I forget how many patches ago it was at this point. We've had so many over the past couple of months, but he gets more intelligence every time he uses Astral Imprisonment. So not only does that reduce Scandal's mana pool, but it also reduces his damage because he is an intelligence-based hero. A tanky one, but still an intelligence hero. And I mean, he should get some farm. He's got Sticky Napalm. He's always got Firefly, so you can't really shut him down, but like you said, it keeps him safe. And they're going to rotate towards mid with 2, maybe looking to set up a kill. Well, on Goblin, potentially. He's not in the Goblak, he's not in the best spot. Nice Fissure Block trapping him in place, and he looks to be absolutely screwed. He even went for Mana Burn at level 1. That's not going to help him get out of here. First Blood goes the way of Virtus Pro, and what a Fissure Block to set it up.
Yeah, they weren't actually going to do anything top, because they knew that Funnick was pulling. And also, I saw what Goblak was trying to do. He was trying to set up Scandal in middle by getting the mana burn so he wouldn't just get astraled repeatedly, but that's kind of what happens when you don't have a single level of stun and you try to get any sort of pressure on. It was a good idea by the supports to just rotate top because they weren't really needed, but now they will be now that Darkseer's in the lane, and it's just going to force Funnick back.
Yeah, and that's going to make life even harder for Scandal. Although he has started to get some levels up. He's got 2 points at Sticky Napalm. You can see even with all that intelligence he's losing. Sticky Napalm still makes it fairly easy to last hit, so 9 and 4 for him, actually kind of dominating the lane. I'd expect OD to be a little better off. You see Goblak running in again. They're putting a lot of pressure on this OD, but he is getting the levels. He's up to 3 right now. On the bottom lane, the other lane we haven't really looked at, it's Bounty Hunter versus Luna, but with the Sentry Wards down, Luna having a pretty decent time. They're not completely shutting down Santa, but Blow is getting more or less uncontested free farm, and in comes Silent looking to harass him back. But they're not shutting down the bounty. They're just making sure the Luna can farm at this point. On to Scandal, nope, not going to go. 5 heroes mid. It's only mid game, apparently, today.
Yeah, and they're actually trying to set up on Goblik right now, but Santa's, or KSI's completely out of mana. His cooldown's off, so not going to really accomplish much. Right now, CRZ at top is going to do fine against the Darkseer because he can just kind of spam out the Ion Shell creep. So the presence isn't really needed, but both offlaners are getting a lot more farm and levels than they should. I'm more concerned that the bounty is pretty much level 3 at 3 minutes right now. So if you can get a quick level 6 and they can get any sort of ganks going, then they can build that momentum in the mid game, and it's not really a concern because well, the OD should be able to kill everyone but the Luna once you get to BKB.
And they have a really great team to just set up those kills, because you've got, I mean, it's not the most mobile lineup. You have Bounty and Mag, but of course there's always Track to help. And the big thing is they've got Fissure. Just gives you such a nice way to set up long-range fights. Funnick is going to get Fissure trapped, but maybe trapping NS into his doom. Oh, no. Yeah. NS cannot be happy about this, and KSI might not be either. Is this really going to be a Funnick double kill? Is that what we're about to see? That was the worst, almost unfortunate Fissure. Oh, man, it is a Funnick double, and all set up by what looked to be a nice Fissure block, but turned out to be an absolute disaster.
Yeah, Funnick right there. I don't think he expected that to happen. It wasn't something that was anticipated. It just kind of fell into his lap, and he picks up 2 kills there, which is kind of huge for him.
He always does this. I mean, not every game, but it feels like the majority of them. That one, a little bit lucky. I mean, the Earthshaker, Fissure blocking in the Lina, maybe one of them would have been in a little bit of trouble just to the Ion Shell, but you don't expect a double without that hero block. Oh well, it does happen, and I think it's something, like you said, they have the Bounty Hunter, he is getting a lot of levels. VP can afford to give up a couple kills here or there, they just don't want to give up too many, because then Empire's going to have the mid-game death ball, and VP has to get to a point where they can defend against that. The one concern for VP, support's quite a bit under-leveled. Only 2 on the Lina, only 1 on the Earthshaker, and it's because they've been spending so much time in that middle lane trying to protect OD, and that's kind of the weakness of OD. Sure, he's good 1v1, but if anybody else comes into the lane, he needs some help to survive.
Yeah, and SS is actually doing a really good job at bottom. He's just been pulling the entire time. So he is picking up levels right now. Goblik's a little far behind, but he's actually jungling right now, and he's stacking the camps for Luna, so eventually he'll be able to catch up, whereas Virtus Pro doesn't exactly have the same options available to them right now. They have an Earthshaker that really needs levels, but he's only level 2. You need a minimum of mana boots just to stay into fights, otherwise you're only going to be able to fissure once or twice before you have to go back. So it is some concern for VP right now, as they do need some early game momentum with the kind of lineup that they have. And once Empire picks up 1 or 2 items, then it's going to be really hard for them to just not push.
Yeah, I mean, how do you screw that one up? When you've got the Luna, who actually only has 1 point in the aura. Did she take a point in stats? No, I guess just holding...
Yeah, I think she...
Oh. She's only got +3, so I guess just holding on to a skill point for now. Yeah. I think my math's correct there. Yeah, I guess just holding on to a skill point. But even just with 1 point Lunar Blessing, should be pretty decent. Has gone for phase boots. Not something we normally see. It's more of... I mean, I guess it's more of an Empire Luna. It just kind of wants to be everywhere at once and all over the map. Does help you from running away against Bounty to a certain extent, but not quite as good just for that push.
I think she actually got it just so she could catch up and run after people. Like, their entire team is based on the concept of being able to chase people down once they get any advantage in a team fight. So, and also it helps for the lane more than Treads or Tranquil will, because the early damage output's kind of insane. She's doing more than 100 damage right now.
Yeah, and that's going to make it easy to last hit. It should also be able to get a kill here in Santa. Oh, will they? One more auto attack. There you go. Even the Rubik hitting quite hard. Even with a single point in Lunar Blessings. Even at level 1, it gives you so much. Plus 14 to everybody. It's one of those spells you don't have to max, but it's so good, even when max, that we generally see that's the case. Scandal has the Tranquil Boots up, rotates back towards the middle lane. As far as net worth goes, it is Luna leading. And on the other side, we've got Mag, who's having a really powerful start. The one thing that surprises me a little bit is that they haven't tried to push this bottom lane at all. They've had some opportunities, and that's one of the weaknesses of off-lane Bounty, is he can't do anything to stop a push. VP's got some supports they could rotate in, but even then, that's another victory for Empire if they can force that. But they're just more focused on the pulls and the levels for now. I guess waiting for a later timing to really get going. Middle lane, the action's about to pick up. They go in on OD, but this looks to be some trouble for SS. Scandal pulls back the OD. Oh, just onto the high ground. Isn't enough to chase him down. There is a Light Strike array available. Gotta land that. Scandal, try to juke away. Still try to juke away. Oh, just clips him with it. That'll be enough to keep him alive. Meanwhile, SS trying to suicide to Roshan, but Shuriken Toss is there. Cleans him up. No track just yet, fortunately. And meanwhile, in the top lane, Magnus finds a solo kill on Funnick. Level 8 off of that. And this Blink Dagger for Mag is coming out real soon.
Yeah, it's really going to help in the team fights. I think once he picks up the Blink Dagger and Bounty hits level 6, you're just going to see them get really aggressive. But
speaking of
Luna
really aggressive, diving onto Airman middle lane. Airman should be okay. But this is not really what VP want. They have the lineup in the mid game that really wants to be fighting. They've got the Bounty Hunter. Sure, no track yet. Oh, actually, just gets the track now. But they have a safe lane mag. He's level 8. He did use Reverse Polarity to get that solo kill in Darkseer. And, you know, it would be nice to have it now when Empire's busy diving. But whenever that spell is on cooldown, I expect to see Empire be even more aggressive. For the moment, they get the kills, but they don't yet get the tier 1. And without the Luna there, they don't actually push that hard.
Yeah, the Luna actually, I think, is pretty content with just farming. If you notice, she saved the skill build because she didn't want to push out the lane with Lunar Blessing, and she just wanted to wait. And now she has 2 levels of Moonglaves. It looks like they're going to try to steal the pull, maybe. Also, if you notice, Virtus Pro actually hasn't upgraded their courier. That's how poor the supports are. They both just picked up their boots, and they seem okay with just letting it down.
Oh, mid lane, this is bad. This is bad for KSI, or maybe he'll actually get away here. There is a skewer, gonna push that into Nyx Assassin back. Will they be able to bring him down? It doesn't look like, and Scandal's still flying high. The Firefly will wear off. Now they go with the lasso. The Impale stacked up with it. Not the best chain stun from Empire. And force Nyx Sticky Napalm stacks up. Is that enough? It doesn't look like it. Nyx Assassin will drop. Still alive is the mag. In comes the backstab from the Rubik. He's level 7. Look at the damage. He stole Shockwave. Oh man, that's gonna hurt. He should be able to get another kill. He does. Man, oh man. 4 heroes dead for Virtus Pro. And the lineup that wanted to team fight, that wanted to be aggressive in the mid game before the Empire Deathball really started forming, just got set pretty far back, giving up all those kills.
Yeah, they're actually going to lose. They lost the tower top to the Luna. She stole the stack that was made for the mag over here.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the level situation isn't getting any better for them. Earthshaker and Lina are both heroes that kind of rely on levels to do any sort of damage. And they're not getting anything out right now, so all they can do is play purely defensive behind Airman. And that's not what they want to do with the track.
Right, I mean, you pick... Oh, the courier mid's gotta be careful. It'll get out of there. Is it still... It is still a walking courier. I feel like this has to be an oversight at this point. I mean, they've got boots on the Lina. They're gonna go in on Scandal middle lane. They do have a skewer. Will they bring him back? They will. And that is a 5-hero track kill. And as good as it looks right now for Empire, those can really turn the tides of this game. Wow, 5 hero track kills, you don't see those too often. Still, it's over a 4k gold lead, over a 5k experience lead. And Empire goes back to farming and playing a little more defensively.
Yeah, they know that they're in a good position. The only thing that'll let Virtus Pro really kind of catch up is if they take silly fights and let Santa get track kills left and right. So I think they're just content with farming, as the Luna's pretty heavily out farming that Magnus right now. So they're alright with just kind of farming. I think where this game kind of went badly for Virtus Pro, though, obviously, was that fissure where Funnick got 2 kills. And then from there on, the supports have just had a terrible time. They're going to go on mid, though.
Oh, this is a long way to dive.
Yeah, he should be fine. He's a little far out, but they are going to get the mid tower in exchange for it, though.
I just want to point out the warding situation mid, although Funnick looks... Oh, the skewer's gonna miss! Funnick just calmly walks away from it. Now Scandal pulls back the mag. He does have RP, though. He doesn't actually cast it there. Luna, meanwhile, finds a solo kill top lane. Mag dropping low. One more auto attack from the Batrider. No, it might take 2, and he goes with the RP, but he whiffs! Scandal jukes away! What a dodge! Scandal and Funnick just toying with this poor mag. And CRZ is being made to look a bit foolish here. Great play from Empire. And they
Did you actually see Funnick cancel originally with the vacuum? Like the timing on that?
I thought that was the RP that got canceled. That was the vacuum, huh?
Yeah. He got the RP canceled. Like right when he was about to cast it, and he should have been able to kill Funnick there, but Funnick was able to just time that out, and they kind of just ran circles around him.
I thought the mag intentionally canceled it, thinking it wasn't a good RP, but then when he went again, it failed completely, so... Wow, Empire just severely outplaying VP. I feel like the lanes were okay for VP, but it's just come down to execution, and that's where Funnick excels, and the rest of Empire doing a pretty good job. And it does go back to the one point you made where the 2 supports died, but even before that, they were sending 3 heroes mid just to try and deal with Scandal's Batrider to protect that OD, and it was only the Nyx Assassin coming mid. Rubik was just pulling that bottom lane consistently. So VP really had to make something happen with that, otherwise they were bound to fall behind. But to fall behind this much does come down to some good plays from Empire and some mistakes from Virtus Pro.
Yeah, and Virtus Pro's Earthshaker KSI is about to pick up his mana boots, so things should be a little easier because he can just go from lane to lane fissuring, but they still don't really have an answer for this Luna, who's got 90 last hits, which is almost double the next highest on the Magnus. So they're kind of losing fights before the before the Lunas really came into the fights. So that's not exactly a good sign. They need Santa to pick up something right now. Like 2 or 3 track kills and they can kind of get back into this game. But as it stands right now, all they can do is play defensively, and Bounty's not a hero that does great in that sense.
Yeah, it's the weakness of the offlane Bounty. I mean, not only can you push his lane early, but come the mid game, it's basically 4v5 unless you're able to find those track kills. And then he makes himself pay. Scandal is going to jump in on NS, but you can see without those auto attacks, just doing a little bit less damage. It looks like it should be enough to kill off NS, or maybe not. Scandal flying high. The Fissure trying to block him, now skewering 2 into the reverse polarity. Oh, when Mag is there's always a shot, but the mech is strong, keeping everyone alive for the moment. CRZ trying to run away. Oh, blinking away Scandal. Scandal always fighting to the last possible second, then jumping out. Airman now running. CRZ now running. It's a headlong retreat from Virtus Pro, but can they get out of here? Goblet comes in, head full of steam, picks up one, track onto the Rubik, but who can actually fight? The answer is nobody. That early mech and those early levels on the supports really paying dividends here. Empire just able to outlast VP, tank through that RP, and after the RP, after the OD ult, which by the way doesn't do much when he's building a mech and is only level 8, there's really nothing left for VP in the tank.
Yeah, Scandal actually got ulted at 300 HP, and it barely did anything to him. It just kind of bounced off him, and the OD was right-clicking with his orb, and it did nothing as well. So OD is a hero that really needs levels. He needs some sort of farm, and he has absolutely nothing right now. At 14 minutes, he has no mech. That should have been a lane where he could have at least done okay against the bat, but the pressure from Goblet was there with the mana burns, and that was enough to kind of set Scandal ahead.
And the weakness of that OD in the lane is he can't really go and help your other lanes if they're struggling. So, like, he can't go contest the runes the way that another solo mid can. He couldn't go top when Empire was pushing it. And you go back to those early kills that Funnick got, and it's not just the fact that the supports fell behind, but it also allowed them to do things like steal the stack, get the early tier 1 when Luna rotated there. Speaking of that Luna, Blow Your Brain looking to be maybe okay, actually. No, there should be a skewer here. No, the Centaur stomp! Hero Centaur. Even the Centaurs are on Empire's side this game. This is just not fair, man. But, jeez.
I don't think they were going to get the kill, but it kind of just shows how this game's been going for Virtus Pro in general.
I think they might have been able to. There was a shockwave. It would have been close, but either way, the fight breaks out top. CRZ is going to be forced to run away. Silent has managed to steal Fissure. Meanwhile, on the other side of play, there's a lasso pulling Santa back into the middle of 5 heroes, and now the Impale to follow up, and the Bat Rider doing even more damage. He'll die. Eventually, I believe the stolen Fissure, stunning 2. They get the pick off. In comes Mag, RP on 3. Light Strike Array is here, but again with the mech, again with the stinking mech. They just can't find these kills. And that's the one thing VP don't have, is that fast mech. And we're seeing it cost them now. The OD almost completed it, but he gets picked off before he can. NS should die soon. Funnick doesn't care that he's running around with about 10 HP, tanking the tower, tanking the enemy heroes. He's going to keep on diving in. Bat Rider actually helps CRZ to safety, and when it's all said and done, I think that was 4 heroes dead. Actually 3. Earthshaker made it back to Fountain, but another bad fight for VP.
Yeah, VP just doesn't have any damage. OD has no levels. Lena's still level 5 at 16 minutes, as is Earthshaker, so they don't have any of those big instant DPS spells. So they just have no way of engaging, and especially for mid when they were trying to gank, an Earthshaker and a Lena are going to have a relatively difficult time ganking, especially for an OD.
Oh,
they are going to get a kill up at bottom.
This will be a huge kill. Speaking of levels, that's something they desperately need. Earthshaker comes in, steals a few for himself, I want to say. But off of that bounty, gets close to level 9, OD getting close to 10. I mean, even by the time he finishes his mech, though, it's so delayed. Empire's been abusing theirs for a good, I mean, what is it, 5-6 minutes now? Something like that. It's been a while. And they just seem to keep
Funnick's actually had it for a while.
Yeah, they just seem to, they're keeping the pressure up. They've got the aggressive wards down the enemy jungle. VP do have Mag, and he has been hitting some nice RPs. He had the one fight earlier mid, I think 2 or 3 engagements ago, where it didn't work out. But aside from that, he's been pretty solid. I feel like they still have a chance, especially with the Bounty Hunter and with RP, but it's just so hard not to make mistakes when you're up against a Nyx Assassin, you're up against a Bat Rider, just these heroes that can gank you from anywhere at any time, and they pretty much... Is there anything else they could do besides just hope that Empire screws up and try and bait some bad fights?
Well, they do have the 2 level 6s now. At top, remember when they got 3-man RP'd and then they got fissured and Lena stunned? If they could have had a Lena ult and an Earthshaker ult to back that, they might have been able to pick off some kills. The thing that kind of concerns me right now is I think Empire's just getting a little too tanky. Like, it's going to be difficult for them to kill any one hero. Like, even the Rubik has 1,000 HP, and they're going to pick off Santa here, too. Maybe?
Or maybe not, in fact. It could... Oh, there's the RP on 3! Skewer them all back into the rest of the team, into the Echo Slam, and yet they're still alive. But I think this time they may be able to get the damage off to find some kills. And Santa, who's doing the dirty work here, that's 2 kills. They want another. They'll get the triple for Santa. I want to say only one of those was a track kill, maybe 2, but nonetheless, that is a lot of experience going their way, and all set up by that big mag reverse polarity.
Yeah, exactly. They had the level 6s now, so they're able to engage cleanly. And they actually picked up so many levels from that. Lina got level 8 and so did Earthshaker, so that's kind of what they need to happen. They just need to take good team fights. They still have it in them, but what concerns me more is that Lina wasn't in the fight, and she's still the biggest hero in the game.
Yeah, she's got kind of a slightly schizophrenic item build here. It's like this chasing build, but now she's just farming. She got the Morbid Mass, didn't complete a Helm of the Dominator to do that ancient stacking. Now going for a BKB after the early Yasha. I mean, they're all decent cost-effective items in their own right, but it seems like Empire now may be realizing they've got to go angle towards the late game, look to kind of starve their opponents out, pull ahead through gold, because if you get 5-man reverse polarity, and then also you got to worry about the other chain stun. I mean, I keep on talking about RP, but if you get caught by a fissure with multiple heroes, if you get caught by a light strike array with multiple heroes, that's a lot of time for Virtus Pro to just spam nukes and try and bring you down. And as strong as their sort of mid game is, they have a great defensive 5-man, but it really comes down to Scandal getting the picks. Otherwise, I feel like they don't want to engage directly into VP. With the Aegis, though, things may change, and Blow Your Brain's going to pick it up now.
He's doing a really roundabout way of selling his Ring of Aquila. He actually dropped like every single item before he did it, but yeah, it looks like they want to go for top during this time. I think that they think they just have to trade towers, because Luna does have her ult up and she has an Aegis, so she's definitely going to get it off. So I think they're just going to look to trade here and defend in their base. I don't really know what else they can do aside from that, especially with the Aegis, because they need to burst down the Luna before the fight starts, otherwise she puts down too much damage. But with the Aegis, it makes it like nigh impossible. Empire should be able to counter-initiate, especially with the wall.
Well, and also VP's a little bit late back to base. In fact, no, OD will no, one of the TPs, no, did get back in time. And now they come in, they're going to look to start it off just with a track on the Luna, and immediately Batrider blinks in. That's the counter to the blink, that Astral Imprisonment. Now they're going to look to stun him. Echo on everyone, and the RP, the team fight of VP. Strong, but there is an Aegis. It's not over yet for Empire, but it does look pretty bad. 4 heroes dead, or sorry, 3, because the Aegis is here. Blow Your Brain comes back to life. I think he blew his Eclipse right before he died. Didn't really see that much damage. Now Godblack looking to get picked off. This should be another track, and the blink. That's the team fight, man. I mean, you've got an Aegis, you've got a Darkseer, you had the early mech, but you just can't push into that without an advantage. And I mean, for me, it all started with that Astral Imprisonment. That really turned the fight, because then Batrider, instead of being the initiator, became the initiatee. He was the one that got counter-initiated on.
Exactly. Bat's kind of like the key hero. If he can't drag out anybody, then they're going to lose the fight like that, especially when they dive in so deep. That was just a really bad fight in general. They wasted the Aegis, Bat got nothing off, and when you're playing offensively like that against a Bounty Hunter, you have to know that you're going to win the fight, otherwise he's just going to run you down, and track kills really stack up really quickly. Santa 5 minutes ago had absolutely nothing, and now he's got drums and almost a BKB after that fight.
Now, once he's got that BKB, then they have to worry about, you know, do we need to blow a lasso on this guy to deal with him? Because we've got they do have some decent physical damage with the Luna, just having the aura. But aside from that, there's nothing too amazing. That BKB is going to make life really annoying. You also don't get stunned by Spike Carapace. KSI might get picked off middle lane. Indeed, he will. But now the track on the blow. Santa thinking about fighting this. I'm not sure this is what they want to be doing. RP is on cooldown for another 20 seconds, and now track stolen by Mila. Ooh. Mila, SS. That might be what they need. I mean, get some track kills of your own. That's something Empire would love to do, is trade kills. Generally as a team, that's something they love to do, and track will help with that. Still, gotta be careful here, but they're gonna go high ground again. Can Scandal find that opening? He does have the Force Staff. We're about to find out.
Yeah, they have to be really careful. The mag is actually just at the top, waiting for the fight to start. I think that they're hoping that Bat gets surged in and he goes again, and Airman can just disrupt him off. And they get a really good team fight off, because right after that happened, Empire just kind of stood around. like hoping to protect the Bat Rider, and after that happened, the fight just went terribly for them. And I'm a little worried right now about Empire. They're like half their team is tracked, so I think they're just gonna back up here and reset. Because if they do lose this fight, Virtus Pro is actually they'll be in a pretty good position in general.
Yeah, I mean, Empire, it looks really good for them right now, but one other thing we haven't really talked about is towers. If you lose a big... Oh, Scandal might get caught. He will force staff away. Should be okay. Now the track flying the other way. Bat blinks forward into the middle of 5 heroes. Scandal, that did not look like the best time to jump in. Indeed, it may not have been, but the Eclipse is here, and the RP only catching Godblack. Funnick was inside the Astral Imprisonment, and Blow Your Brain was safely away from that skewer. I think it might have actually... Was that the magic immunity that actually stopped it, or did the skewer just miss? Because the new change to skewer is it doesn't affect magic immune. I'm not sure if he missed Luna or if he just went right through her without dragging her, but either way, that fight goes great for Empire, and now they're looking to claim high ground.
Yeah, they fought in the middle of nowhere. Luna got a perfect ult off. The skewer whiffed because of the BKB, and then Goblik popped his spiked Carapace when the mag ulted, so it absolutely did nothing there.
Wow, this is some nice teamwork from Empire, from Virtus Pro rather. They want to pick off Silent. Will they be able to do so? They will. Still no BKB, but a nice Echo on 2. The Rax is not down yet. It's not over yet for Virtus Pro by any means. And Blow Your Brain is typing really far for this. He wants some kills. He's going to pick up 1. Now gets tracked for his trouble. The Rax still stands. I know a few heroes bought back. We'll find out exactly how many in a moment. Airman giving chase. Now lassoed up by Scandal. And in fact, KSI will die just to the Firefly. Not Scandal. Still trying to fight one-man army Scandal, but he's actually got help. That's Funnick. Normally the tower would be there, and that would be a great skewer. Instead, well, it helps, but it's not enough to kill him off. And Scandal just living, feasting in enemy territory. In comes Santa. Firefly on cooldown. Blink cannot be used yet. Wanding up to try and give chase a little farther. Now disrupting Darkseid. They just can't make up their mind who they want to fight, and I feel this may cost them their own lives. Santa, oh, he's still giving chase. Finally, they bring down Scandal. And now Funnick is next in line, potentially, but he's got Surge. The mech, no mana to use it, actually just gets it now. In fact, they turn the fight around. Silent is back in the fight. Silent almost does a Bloodstone complete. In fact, he could buy it now if he wanted to. 25-minute support Rubik Bloodstone. And after all is said and done, how many buybacks did we have there? Actually, only 1. I thought there were more, but hey, they defend Rax, and RP is back up again. Is that enough?
Wow. Funnick was amazing there. Did you see that? He actually surged Scandal, almost saved him. He got the pipe timing off right when the Magnus nuked the Luna at 150 HP. So like right when the nuke was going off, he got the pipe off, saved the Luna's life. Then he was in the middle of the fight, pretty much just like causing mayhem, running back and forth from person to person, just trying to save everybody. And then they're able to turn it around because he's been in there for so long. And that's kind of like the power that Darkseer has.
And that's sort of their lineup in general, right? When you've got a hero like Bat Rider, a really farmed Rubik, a Darkseer, they're so good in those small-scale engagements, just running around, spamming, you know, those team fight items like the mech, the pipe, not spamming them, but using them at key moments, just being able to Firefly up and down cliffs, surging away or back into the fight. Sure, you've got track on VP side, but in some respects, Empire is equally, if not more mobile, and now they find Godblack in the jungle. He's tracked. Santa will have another Janata soon. This should be his death, and that'll be a 3-hero track kill, I believe. OD just coming inside of range at the last moment, but Santa gets vacuumed back onto the hill. No way to keep him up there, but still a small victory, forcing the TP out. Blow Your Brain continues to farm. He is definitely content not to engage too much for the moment. He's got the BKB, and Manta's coming soon. And this is something we talked about, is OD doesn't really do a whole lot against BKB carries, and do they have the damage to bring Blow Your Brain down even if he gets RP'd? I'm not sure that they do.
Yeah, that's something that they haven't really thought through. They don't really have any physical damage. I think at this point they thought they'd have more track kills, and they'd be a little more ahead, but Blow's now finished his Manta, so as long as he gets the BKB off before their RP does, he's going to be able to put up enough damage for them to win the fight, hopefully. Yeah, and as long as Goblik continues to play as he does with his Spike Carapace, and they have a pipe. So as long as one of those things happens, like if the mech or the pipe or the BKB goes off or the Manta, then Blow Your Brain should be fine.
I have to point out the last hits. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to look at them recently. The gold or the net worths told us one story, which is that yes, Luna's in the lead, but look at how much more farming she's been doing, and also how little the rest of these players have. 215 CS on the Luna. The next closest is a 90 for the Bat Rider. Yikes.
Yeah, Empire's been just kind of fighting 4v5 this entire time, while Luna's been kind of their safety net. So if things go terribly bad, Blow Your Brain can just kind of come in and wipe everything out. And he's actually finally finished everything. We saw him have like a halfway build, where he had the Mask of Death, and he had the Yasha, and half of a BKB, but now everything's complete, so anytime now, once the Rosh comes up, they might just wait for it. I think they're going to get the Aegis on him, and then they're just going to push down through middle lane, and it's going to be like really, really difficult for VP to get any sort of fight going once the Aegis is down, because like you said, we're worrying about whether they can take him down in BKB form, but how are they going to deal with an Aegis on top of it?
Yeah, and of course the Manta illusions as well, just so good for pushing, getting all the glaives bouncing around. Your point about Luna just makes me think of, you know, Blow Your Brain. His Luna was that kid in puberty with the acne, a little bit gangly, a little bit awkward, but now it's all cleared up, and he's suddenly, you know, the class stud. Everybody likes him. He's got a lot of friends at this point, and I think all those friends definitely on the side of Empire. Happy that he's completed all these big items. If it goes long enough, I don't know, I feel like VP, the only way they can win this late game is going to be with just that amazing RP, and as it goes later, it's harder and harder to fight it because Luna gets more items. Obviously, you've already got a lot of mobile heroes. Eventually, we'll probably see the Rubik with a Force Staff, a Blink Dagger. He's already got the Bloodstone. Even Nyx is getting tanky, and you talked about how tanky they were like 15 minutes ago. It's only gotten worse. I mean, there's BKBs, there's the Pipe and Mech for the whole team, there's a point booster up on Darkseer. Everybody's tanky. There's no easy kills, and that's got to be a concern when you've got a big wombo combo, one-shot kind of team fight like VP does.
Yeah, VP's actually going to look to initiate here. They try to go on Blow Your Brain, who actually pops the BKB early. I think a little too early.
Uh-oh. Now Santa forced to run away. He did BKB to safety. Funnick with the late pipe and mech, but actually catches everyone with it, keeping them all alive. The two supports dead. There is a reverse polarity, but the Eclipse is going to prevent it from coming off in a useful way. 4 heroes dead. And this may be enough for Empire to go high ground. I think VP's out of gas. Do they even have buyback? Just the Mag. And he's got RP. But is there enough follow-up? I'm not convinced there is.
No, I don't really think there is. There's no damage. They need the Earthshaker ult, the Lina ult to do anything, but Airman does have his ult off, so he can go in there and ult, but I don't know how much damage it'll do at this point. The way that the fight went, though, in general, was just terrible for them. They went on Funnick, who had a pipe and a mech, and then they went on him, and he took no damage because they're all magic damage. Then he popped his pipe and his mech, and he got to full HP, and meanwhile, Blow Your Brain was just kind of right-clicking the rest of the heroes down. Just a terrible fight for them to engage.
Oh, Shaker has a blink, but it's going to be kind of negated here by SS, and they get one lane of Rex. They want more. Mag comes in with the skewer. He's still got that reverse polarity. He just can't find the opening. Keeps on getting kited. Now the sticky napalm discouraging him. 2 heroes will fall. They got the Luna. That's the key one, but they need a lot because they just lost 1 lane of Rex. They already have Rex exposed mid. Funnick should probably die. Of course, that pure damage just slapping away at him. Triple kill for Airman, and some of those were track kills. 2,300 gold up on him. Empire not 100% out of the woods. By the way, there was still no reverse polarity that entire engagement. I mean, that was a good, like, minute and a half of more or less constant fighting. Still no RP. They come out, I gotta say, okay. I think VP still have a shot, and Roshan is really what they're hoping for to get themselves back in this game. They're thinking about it, but the buybacks from Empire, well, with RP, this is a good place to fight, but there is Vacuum Wall on the other side. And Batrider is just the most annoying hero in the world in this situation. So good at scouting everyone out. They're going to initiate on Santa. Is there a gem up? Sentry Ward's getting dropped by everyone. Santa vacuumed into it. This actually will be astraled and disrupted. Backstab from Silent. Here comes the reverse polarity on 2. Echo to follow. But with that pipe mech, nobody's taking any damage. They just can't bring them down. You can't keep a good Luna down, says Blow Your Brain. He's going to give chase to KSI. KSI looks to be in a lot of trouble. On the other side of play, Santa will fall. KSI will drop, and when it's all said and done, they lose 3. They got the reverse polarity off, but they're not comboing it with anything else. They just can't get all the spells off in unison. A testament to Empire's positioning and also just how many damn mobility skills and items they have at this point.
Yeah, that teamfight went kind of how I expected. VP did need to engage that. They can't just give up the Aegis, especially with the lane of Racks down and Glyph on CD. That means Empire can just kind of power through and they couldn't do anything. What I really liked watching there, though, was if you noticed SS wrapped around. So when VP knew that the fight was going to go bad, they immediately started going to their Ancients just to run away straight to their base, and SS was there, and he got the lift off and stun too.
Yeah, that was a really great initiation by him. Speaking of good initiations, apparently Blow Your Brain just running into the middle of the enemy team is as well. He brings down one. Now it's going to be multiple lanes of Rex. It's probably a butterfly complete on Blow Your Brain. He's got the money for it. And this looks to be the end for Virtus Pro. You just can't defend against the Luna, who's this damn fat at this point. Look at how fast the towers dive. Even killing off two at once. Now the pipe and mech rearm. And Empire just gonna thrown it. They're just gonna end this game, and they already beat Virtus Pro 2-0 in the Asus Open Finals. Final battle of the year, and looking strong here, this best out of 3. They should be able to take game 1. I gotta say, Empire have just played better this game. That's really what it came down to.
Yeah, I also thought the picks had something to do with it. Banning out the Wisp instead of the Bat Rider made it really difficult for VP to get any sort of foothold on this game. Trying to gank a Bat Rider with a hero like Earthshaker, where you fissure and then he just fireflies over it, and especially ganking for a hero like OD who puts out no damage early game, it just kind of didn't succeed for them. They did get a lucky kill off on Goblik, where they had a really nice fissure. Well, less to do with luck and more to do with the fact that he went mana burn. But aside from that, they just had nowhere to go in terms of trying to gank anybody, so they couldn't get any pressure for top because Funnick was just pulling in middle, and they couldn't get any pressure mid because how do you gank a Bat Rider for an OD?
It is. That's the one thing about the OD. He's very good defensively 1v1, but when other heroes come into play, Astral just doesn't do as much for you as the Firefly. And that did feel like the weak point of Virtus Pro's laning stage and sort of their draft is the OD. It's not a bad hero by any means, but he requires really a perfect laning situation. They had two supports constantly trying to help him mid. The bad fissure block that actually caught the two supports killed. Some mistakes for VP, but ultimately for us, I think it was a little bit more about Empire with some great play. Of course, guys, this was only game number 1. This is a best out of 3. You are watching StarLadder Season 4, the LAN Finals. The winner of this series will move forward to face Na'Vi, who's lurking for them in that winner bracket finals. The loser drops down to face Fnatic. Best out of 3. This was only game 1, but it is Empire currently leading 1-0. Stay tuned. Game 2 coming up soon.